Seth-Prime is a young man with an obsessive personality, middle child syndrome, and extreme FOMO, or fear of missing out. This channel will track him along his journey as he discovers what he was born to do, even though we all know he was born to dance.
I'm Seth-Prime, and oh, I cut my hair, but I cut it weird on accident. I'm just Hi, I'm Seth-Prime, and I am a mutant. I'm mutant. Is that I have trouble pronouncing words, and that's gonna be a big problem this ep. I'm a mutant, and whenever you hear that word, you usually think of like the X-Men and like people that can shoot laser eyes, or people with blue skin, or Spider-Man. I'm just kidding. I know Spider-Man isn't part of the X-Men. I also know that Cyclops doesn't shoot laser eyes. He has optic blasts, which are different, so I know. The problem is that we don't live in that world. We don't live in the Marvel universe or even the Marvel Cinematic Universe, even though there's no mutants there. We live on this earth, and here I am still a mutant, but it's not a good thing. I don't have any superpowers. I have something called, I'm going to be reading it, but I'll write it right here so you guys can see it. Familial Paroxysmal Kinesigenic Dyskinesia. Dyskinesia. I'm not going to be pronouncing everything correctly today. I can't even say mutant. Am I saying that right? Dyskinesia? Kinesigenic Paroxysmal Kinesigenic Dyskinesia. The last part, I always say dyskinetic dyskinesia, but the first part is part of it too. Well, it's a thing. It's a disorder characterized by episodes of abnormal movement that range from mild to severe. It's a mutation in one of my genes, the PRRT2 gene. This is extremely rare. Only 1 in 150,000 people have it. Easier to find a shiny Pokemon in the first generation games than to have this disorder. In the condition name, the word paroxysmal, it indicates that the abnormal movements come and go over time. Kinesigenic means that the episodes are triggered by movement. Dyskinesia refers to the involuntary movement, so it's a mix of those two things. So usually it happens when I stand up really quickly, or if I start running. This disorder comes in 4 different versions. You can either have slow, prolonged motions, you can have writhing motions of your arms, you can have flailing movements, or quick, fast dance-like motions. I have the dance ones more than the other ones, but I understand all of them. And I can feel it. I can feel it almost in my feet. It's this tingling. The things online that it talks about is an aurora that you can feel, crawling or tingling sensation that goes on parts of your body, and for me it's on my feet, and I can feel it when it's about to happen. Like, oh, I'm about to have one, I need to stay still. I can't trigger this. I can't have movement right now. It's kind of what you would imagine spider sense feels like. It's the tingling. My spider sense is tingling, but it's on my feet. So I got spider sense in my feet. Spider sense in my feet warning me about, hey, you're about to have one of these episodes. Now, like I was saying, these episodes are triggered, so if I stand up too quickly, what could happen is my face goes like this, and I crunch over. All my muscles kind of contract, and that's just part of my natural state of trying to hold it in. I don't want to have these episodes, so naturally I go like this, or my hands go like this, and my feet start moving, and it looks like I'm kind of like a weird dance. And that's when I'm trying to hold it in, but if not, it looks kind of fake. When it happens, people are like, what are you doing? Why are you being so weird? But it's not, I can't control it. It just happens, and I lose control of my body. It goes like that. And I'm trying to fight my body for control. In a superhero cartoon or a comic where there's a bad guy that can take over your body and you're fighting your body for control, that's what it feels like. It's episodes, they happen fast, and they only happen for a few seconds. They just, and then I'm good. And then it happens again. And then it happens again. And it happens just throughout the day. It's a weird feeling. You're fighting yourself. And so my hand wants to go this way, but I want it to stay here. And so I've been used to this my whole life. I've had different ways to deal with this. So all these things, and that's what would happen, and it's part of my life now. I've grown up with it since I was in 3rd, 4th grade. That's when it started happening. Back when I was still a little fat boy, little chubby boy. I have medicine that I take for it. I'm supposed to take one in the morning, one at night. I live in Bolivia, and so I took a bunch of medicine with me just so I would have it while I'm here. The medicine that I take, it's called trileptal. It's also called oxycarbazepine. I picked the worst episode to start with. You guys are gonna think I don't know how to pronounce anything, which is kind of true. I take one of these babies in the morning and at night. I'm good. Around 5th grade, that's when I went to a neurologist and we did all these things and I started taking the medicine. Now I'm 2 years out of college, so it's been about 10 years that I've had this medicine. 10 years that I still forget to take it. People are like, haven't you been taking this pill since you were in 3rd grade? And I'm like, no, I started taking it in 5th grade. So when I forget it, I can feel it on my feet. My spider sense is tingling. My kinesigenic dyskinesia sense is tingling. So usually I wrap my legs around my chair, like around it, so it stays still. And I just hold on. Sometimes I just pretend I'm doing something else, like, oh, hold on, I need to tie my shoe really quick. So if I start talking like that, it's because my mouth is fighting against me. There was a weekend where I forgot my medicine at my house and I went to back to college, and my brother had to bring it to me, and he was going to leave a few days later, so I went without my medicine for a few days. I counted on my hand. I just put a little tally mark every time it happened. So I kept track of it, and in one day I had 152 of these episodes, and I was just so tired, shaking and dancing and doing all this throughout the whole day without me willing to do it. So my body was just physically exhausted, and then I was tired and I was sitting, and then it would happen again and I couldn't control it and I had to move. I felt worn out, and I'm so thankful that I had medicine. And even when I forget to take it, as long as I take it later, it fixes itself. It corrects itself. Same neurologist growing up, and we just called it seizures because, I mean, we didn't know what it was, and it wasn't really seizures. Usually seizures, people are on the ground and they lose consciousness, but I could think during all these episodes. I had a conscious mind going the whole time. And finally, when I was 18 and had my own adult neurologist, right when I explained the symptoms to him, he was like, oh yeah, you got this. And I looked it up, and it's so true, all these things. My doctor growing up, if I ever had one, he would up the medicine, and I'd be like, I forgot my pill, and then I had an episode. But he'd be like, oh, the pill's not working, and so we'd up the medicine. He was good. He was a good neurologist, but he just didn't understand what this was. And like I said, this is a new area of study. My new neurologist, he knows a lot about it. He's the one that was like, oh, you got this, and he's one of the people in the forefront studying this, so that's cool to have that guy. I've never met anyone with it. My doctor said he knew 2 ladies with it. They were older ladies, and they were both dealing with a different type of sickness. Different because there's nothing else connected to this disorder for me. It's just part of my body. So usually they say that if the other problem, the other disease you have heals itself or gets better, then this goes away. But since there's nothing connected to this, I'm kind of stuck with it for now. This is a sort of new area that's being explored right now by doctors, so there's not much information on it. Some say that people grow out of it by the time they reach 25, so hey, I hope so. For me, it started around elementary school. I remember I didn't like running, and I was chubby, and it led to that, but this is part of it. Couldn't just start running with all the other kids because then I would start seizing, and I hated that, and I didn't know what it was, and I never really talked to anyone about it growing up. That's why I got really good at lying. Not just lying, I got good at being quick on my feet. I got good at thinking fast because I would have to make excuses all the time. I didn't start really telling people about it until I got to college, and then I was like, oh yeah, I have this thing, and it's part of me, and I can't change it. And people are like, okay. The real reaction I get when I tell people about this, when I explain it all out, they're like, can you forget to take your medicine tomorrow? I want to see it. I was just born to dance. Here's my tattoo on the back of my leg. It's my pill bottles, and it says born to dance. Just accepted it. Even if I get better eventually, it's always, I mean, I grew up with this. It's part of my life. It's part of who I am. I'm born to dance. There's some people that have it a lot worse than me. It says it ranges from mild to severe, and I have it very mild, and I'm so thankful for that. But I want to know if anyone out there has this. I want to talk about it. I want to see what other people, how they deal with it, how their experiences have been different from mine, or maybe if they've had it and then grew out of it, if that's a real thing. I want to talk about it. If you know anyone, or if you're somehow watching this video, I want you to let me know, because you're not the only one. I have it too. My name's Seth-Prime, and I'm a mutant. I'm gonna add laser visions in post. Bye.